Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert, and I have extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. I am truly pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. We look forward to supporting your professional growth in the hospitality industry. Today, we're diving into something that is quite literally the foundation of a guest's experience, the housekeeping brand standard.
So, let me start by asking you a question. What is the single most powerful message your hotel sends to a guest? I'll give you a hint. It's not an ad, and it's not the friendly greeting at the front desk. The most powerful message is the one that's never spoken. It's the silent experience of the physical space itself.
So, in this explainer, we're going to build out this idea together. First, we'll talk about why housekeeping is your silent brand ambassador. Then, we'll define what a brand standard actually is. After that, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of architecting your own standard, bringing it to life, and finally, making sure that level of excellence actually sticks around.
All right, first things first. Before we can even think about building a standard, we have to really, truly appreciate its impact. You see, this isn't just about cleaning rooms. No, this is about shaping and controlling how every single guest perceives your brand through every physical detail they encounter.
Just think about it for a second. A guest might chat with the front desk agent once, maybe twice, but they are constantly, and I mean constantly, interacting with the work of the housekeeping department. It's the lobby they walk through, the elevator they ride, the room they sleep in. It is, without a doubt, the most consistent and tangible touchpoint they have with your entire brand promise. And every single one of those little details, those touchpoints, they all translate directly into your hotel's performance. The crispness of the sheets, that sends a message of quality. A complete absence of dust in the corners, that screams attention to detail. These are the very things that fuel online reviews, that drive repeat business, and that ultimately have a direct impact on your reputation and, yes, your commercial success.
Okay, so we've established the why. We know this stuff is critically important. So now, let's get into the what. How do you actually control this powerful silent message? Well, it all starts by taking a big abstract brand promise and making it a tangible reality with one key strategic tool.
And that tool is the housekeeping brand standard. This is way more than just a document. It's the blueprint that turns your hotel's identity into something a guest can see, touch, and feel. We're not talking about vague ideas like luxury here. We're talking about a precise plan for delivering an experience that is tangible, repeatable, and measurable every single time for every single guest.
And let's be absolutely clear on this, because it's a critical distinction. A brand standard is not a cleaning checklist. A checklist is tactical. It just lists tasks, right? Vacuum the floor, check. But a brand standard, that's strategic. It defines an outcome. For example, all carpets must be free of debris and display uniform vacuum lines reflecting a meticulous attention to detail. You see the difference? One just gets a job done. The other creates an experience and reinforces who you are as a brand.
All right, let's get practical. We're now moving into the how-to part of our session. As future leaders in this industry, this is the framework you are going to use to build your very own blueprint for excellence. So, let's dive in. Building a world-class standard really comes down to 4 key steps. You start with the brand vision, then you size up the competition, you get ultra-specific with your physical standards, and finally, you establish the rhythm of your cleaning operations. Let's break each of those down.
Step 1, and maybe the most important, is interpreting the vision. A brand manual might use fancy words like understated luxury or seamless efficiency. But what does that actually mean on the ground? Your job as a leader is to be the translator. How does ultra-luxury translate to the thread count of the sheets? How does business focus decide how the amenities on the desk are arranged? You have to be the one who turns those big ideas into concrete, real-world requirements.
Next, you've got to look outward. You need to understand the competitive landscape you're playing in. Now, the goal here is not to just copy what the hotel across the street is doing. Not at all. It's to understand what guests in your specific market expect as a baseline, and, even more importantly, to find the gaps. To see where your competitors are consistently dropping the ball. And this is where modern tools can give you an unbelievable advantage. As an AI expert, this is what gets me excited. Imagine analyzing 10,000 local guest reviews in just a few minutes. You might find a clear pattern. Every competitor in your area gets complaints about dirty bathroom grout. And just like that, bam, you have a clear, data-driven opportunity. If you make pristine grout a non-negotiable part of your standard, you can immediately differentiate yourself and start winning.
So armed with that kind of insight, you move on to defining your physical standards. The word clean is subjective, right?
My definition might be different from yours. Your standard has to remove every ounce of that subjectivity. You need to document, with words and, this is critical, with photographs, exactly what a perfectly presented bed looks like, exactly what spotless chrome means, and the precise, to-the-millimeter arrangement of every single amenity.
So for instance, your standard won't just say, make the bed. It will specify the exact 45-degree angle for the pillows and the required tautness of the duvet. It won't just say, clean the bathroom faucet. It will define a zero-tolerance policy for water spots on the chrome. This is the almost obsessive level of detail that excellence demands.
And the final piece of this architecture is establishing frequency. Your brand standard needs to set the rhythm for your entire operation. It makes it crystal clear that vacuuming guest hallways happens daily, but steaming the lobby curtains is a quarterly deep clean task. This is how you ensure that both the immediate, day-to-day cleanliness and the long-term maintenance of the property are baked right into your hotel's DNA.
So you've done it. You've designed this brilliant, detailed standard. Fantastic. But now comes the really crucial phase, bridging the gap between that perfect vision on paper and the daily reality of a busy hotel operation.
Because let's be blunt, a standard that looks beautiful in a binder but can't be executed consistently on the floor is a failed standard. It's just a wish. Your incredible vision has to be grounded in the operational reality of your staffing levels, your equipment, and of course your available time. So let's take a very common productivity benchmark in our industry. In many, many hotels, the time allocated to clean a standard guest room after checkout is 30 minutes. That number right there is your operational reality.
And now you have to think like a manager. You have to ask the tough questions. If you only have 30 minutes, does that time budget realistically support your brand standard of polishing every single piece of bathroom chrome to a perfect mirror finish? If the answer is no, then something has to change. You either adjust the time or you adjust the standard. They absolutely must be in alignment.
So how do we ensure that alignment? The bridge between the high-level what of the brand standard and the on-the-ground how is the standard operating procedure, the SOP. This is where you take that big idea, like spotless chrome, and you break it down into a safe, efficient, step-by-step process that any team member can be trained on to execute perfectly, every single time.
Okay, we've designed the standard. We've planned for its execution. The final piece of our architecture is building a system to protect it, to make sure that this standard doesn't just have a great launch day, but that it actually lasts for the long haul.
You've probably heard the saying, you can't manage what you don't measure. Well, a standard without a quality assurance framework is really just a suggestion. To make it real, you need to inspect what you expect. This means using detailed checklists pulled directly from your standards that empower your supervisors to audit the work, provide immediate coaching, and guarantee that your brand promise is being delivered.
Because ultimately, that's what all of this comes down to. Architecting a housekeeping brand standard. It's not just some administrative task you have to check off a list. It is the very act of defining the core promise your hotel makes to every single person who walks through your doors.
As you all move forward to become the next generation of leaders in this industry, this will be your great challenge, but also your greatest opportunity. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what promise will you make? And more importantly, what systems will you put in place to ensure that you can keep it?